Hello and welcome to Avorion. I am Gary 007. No, but welcome to Avorion. I just wanted to show off a couple of my ships built in the game and show you sort of my progress through my shipbuilding. I'm not an expert. I've seen ships online that people have built and they are really awesome. Mine are sort of more like Minecraft looking ships, but I do like the look of them. I wouldn't have put them on the video if I didn't like the look of them. Some people might think but that's true, but I'll just talk you through some of what I've discovered on the way when I've been doing it. I found that building ships are really fun. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of practice, trial and error when doing it. When I first started, I would often build my first ships and take off and then run into an asteroid and then bang, okay, start again. So the learning curve was, don't hit obstacles. I'd usually turn everything up on high. I did play the game through on easy, well, normal to begin with. I quickly found out it was it was just too easy. So I played it through on hard. It needs to be harder, this game, but it's in development still, so there's lots to look forward to, and there seems to be the developer seems to be promising a lot, and patches are quite regular. In this game, you basically are left to your own devices, build whatever you want to build, and there are no limits to how big your ships can get. Now, by no it's a bit of a hole. Oh no, I did that on purpose. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Anyway, so I've sort of, this was one of my first proper ships I built. Reasonable shields, 196k. It's got a decent platform for firing guns off and all the rest of it. I do find in the game your guns do get blown off. I think if you get hit by missiles and other weapons and they hit your platform for where your weapons sit, they can get blasted off and you have to go and collect them and put them back on again. Not much of an issue. It's just, I learnt later on in some of my designs to sort of hide certain weapons, but overall this ship wasn't too bad. I sort of thought I'd go for like a put like bull bars on the front of a ship, and my thought was, look pretty cool. Anyway, I do like it. It served its purpose and it was really robust early mid-game. So yeah, and same sort of ship design. I did this on hard. Similar stats, a little bit more shields, of course. Platform. It is it's a bit more robust, this one. So it is, and of course it's got Avorion thrusters and all the rest of it. It's a medium-sized, I'd say, cruiser, light cruiser, battleship. Well, it's not a battleship, it's more like a escort ship, really. They both are at this level. I wouldn't class them any more than an escort, but they serve purposes for what you want them to do when you build a fleet. You want to design them so that they perform specific roles. As the game gets better, I'm sure that sort of thinking will come into play more, depending on how the developer goes about it. This was sort of my first biggest ship. It's about 2.4 million. I built this on normal. It was designed to be a missile platform. That was the idea I was going for. I wanted it to be long, more sleekish looking, I suppose. I didn't want to be exposing any items outside. That was a later addition in there to put a carrier hanger in the middle. I still can't make up my mind whether or not that was a good idea. I don't know about the look. But the idea was behind the design was to show force. You know, when you're in a game, you want to feel like you're running a powerful ship, not just a sleek ship, but you want to show up. Like you want to hyperspace jump into a sector and then bang. You know, doesn't matter who's out there. You know, take care of them. But yeah, that was the design around that. I did find though, I made a few mistakes in this one, and they were generally around maneuverability, yaw and pitch. I didn't really put enough gyros in this thing. I sort of relied on thrusters, directional thrusters. Not multiple directional thrusters, but the one-dimensional directional thrusters to give it mobility. The firepower on it's it is what it is at the moment, but it was to be a force, you know, in the game for me at the time. I thought it was pretty cool. These ships are my main, you know, that in regards to what other people built, like 10 million shields and stuff. I don't, you know, I haven't got ships like that. There's no need for it actually. Once you get to about 2 or 3 million shields, you kind of beat the game anyway. There's nothing out there that can really hammer you. This was my Dreadnought class ship. I wanted a Dreadnought ship, that type of look, the mean look, the like, just like this one. You turn up, you know, to deal with the enemy. Be a forward ship in order to take a lot of hits, and to be a bit like Battlestar Galactica type theme on it. So I went with a lot of chain guns on this one, as it compared to a missile platform and rail guns and sort of rail guns and a bit of a mixture over there. But I wanted to sort of go with a chain gun thing. It has got some rocket launchers on it and some rail guns, but mainly I put a lot of chain guns down in there. Now these chain guns, these ones here have actually got a 7k range, so believe it or not, it's quite effective when you get a lot of them going at one direction, and they look pretty cool in battle. I went with the red look again, red and black. I liked it, I thought it was pretty cool. Put some side shielding on there, some side plate armour. Most of this is all plate armour. I've designed it around lots and lots of railgun plate armour. And I went with a ton of thrusters at the back, because why not? It looks awesome, and I like the look of it. And yeah, so the design was, you know, punch through the enemy lines with this thing, takes the hits, and yeah, what a Dreadnought's supposed to do. Like again, you know, people build much bigger ships than I do. I sort of build them and then I go, okay, I like that. So basically that whole part there is basically, yeah, all your components. I build with your components first, functionality first, and then you try and style it after that. Now this one, I'm sort of not convinced on the look yet. I've tried to build different variants of carriers, and it's very hard to get a good look with the carrier bays, the way they look. I don't know. So this is my carrier. This was supposed to be a support ship with the carriers, and this was going to be my fighters in here. Carriers a fair few, but when I built this thing, I ended up building a bit stronger than my Dreadnought. So it's a frontline ship too, really. You could say it's just it is even better than my Dreadnought. I like my Dreadnought look better though. This thing is covered in chain guns too. I wanted to go for that that look again. They're the same chain guns that are on here. It's carrying a fair few firepower. It's probably not as powerful as what. Oh yeah, it is. It's more powerful. Yeah, firepower. Yeah. So yeah, this thing is a lot more got a lot more firepower, and a lot more shields. This one's got 5.3. And that's 2.4, so this is what you'd call a frontline ship too. Certainly no slacker. Decent manoeuvrability, and the reason why it's got reasonable manoeuvrability on this, even more so than this ship, even though I put gyros all over the place and thrusters all over it, is because the thrusters are on the outside here. So all the thrusters for this aircraft carrier are basically sitting in here. So I've got a lot of thrusters in here, each one of them, and then you got your bays. I made this symmetrical so that if it's in a fleet it looks the same as it does upside down, and yeah, like a spacecraft should do really in space. It doesn't matter which way you're facing, you know. So yeah, so I've designed it like that and put some armour on the sides, you know, protect the thrusters, because you can cover your thrusters up in this game. You can't, I don't think you can really cover these ones up properly, because then you just won't move. I don't think you can. I can't remember now. I haven't played in a couple of weeks, so I could be wrong. So yeah, so I've decided to add all my main directional thrusters on the sides, and my big thrusters are at the back. You can only, so yeah, and I sort of gone with the same theme. I've tried to build command towers before and I'm very poor at it, and I sort of found when I built my first ships I went with that type of style for a command tower, and I like it. It works, it's simple, especially after you've been building for about an hour and you want to try and finish it off and test it out. You're like, yeah, that will do, I like that style, and I'll run that throughout my fleet, and that's what I've done. This house is probably maybe 50 to 100, actually it holds about 100 to 150 fighters I think in there. So yeah, in the game that's my experience. Building is really exciting, it's cool. The AI in this game is kind of poor, but you know, it's in beta, like I said. You'll notice that in a lot of videos that people make those sort of comments. And yeah, so that's the style of building that I've done. You can do whatever you like. Some people like to have build their ship from the outside in. You can do whatever you like. I've never really done that. I find that I need to put the components down first, and when I put the components down first, then I can work on, as I'm doing it, I can build the ship out with those internal components and then build around it. I have a rough idea. You don't have to, you know, you build whatever you like, doesn't matter. I mean, it's your game really at the end of the day that you play and how you want to play it. So yeah, this is sort of like a progression, like I said, of how I've progressed through the game and built the way I built, and I might have an idea and build something completely different. Now some ships are just warped in here. I want to show you the combat ability of them. So these ships will go into combat shortly. I wonder if this one will go into combat. So I go orders, attack enemies. So he'll go off and attack enemies. Orders, escort me. Orders, escort me. Orders, escort me. Oh, I might turn around and attack. Go and attack something. Attack enemies. Go on. Do your job, Captain. And this is the AI you got to deal with. Now, I get it. It's in development and it will improve. I'm just getting all my ships out of the way, so I've got fighters out there too. Look, they're all. You see, like the blue things all moving around. They're heading off. So yeah, right. So yeah. What I'll do is I'll start a fight and get my guys into it. All right. So there's my chain guns going on. I'm actually going to do something. Oh, go to attack. Go on. Do Daddy proud. Attack enemies. So yeah. So the chain guns are going off and your missiles are going off. So yeah, there's a few enemies. Anyway, I will try and get something going in here and see if I can't find a battle. Get into a sector when there's orders. Escort me. Orders. Escort me. So what I'll do, I'll gather up all my ships and I'll probably get them into another sector and see if we can't find some enemies. So come back, I'll quickly edit this video and you can see some enemies getting blown up by my little ragtag team. Oh, found a battle. So we'll just see how my fleet goes against them. I put a few enemies up, so we'll just see how they do. So I'm in a fighter now. So there's my carrier going off. There's the chain guns. And yeah. There's sort of all the... You can see the fleet's going off. Guns are going off. Fleet's holding it own. So you get an idea that you want auto fire. So you want them to be able to hold their own. And yeah. And that's the vision of like a dreadnought, is to go in there, take some heat, test out a ship's capabilities, see what they can do, attack some enemies, please. Never even released the fighters. Crying out loud. Could be my fault there. But yeah. So now you get a flood of fighters coming out of this thing. Old mate here. Got shot up. See these missiles? They're not really... Oh, that's mine. So yeah, it's the way it is. And that was the battle pretty much. Everything else is just gonna die. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. Cool bananas.